Morning, fellas. Uh, Another day, more ideas come to my head, and I'm putting together more pieces of the puzzle. How I mentioned specifically, there's a lot coming out of being in that mental health hospital. I feel like as I mentioned, electricity goes through our body, and so we have a frequency, and I believe that they were doing tests on me to grab that frequency. And the reason I believe that is I'll be driving, thinking about, driving is my peaceful. I like taking long drives, and that's where I find peace at. I put the music up and just pretty much meditate. I could clear my mind. And so on my way over here to where I'm at now, it's about a day and a half drive. And I'll be driving in peace, and I'll have random thoughts to drive off the road. And I was not, at the time, I wasn't feeling suicidal or anything of that nature. And I would question those thoughts, like, where was those thoughts coming from? And I'm coming to realize that I believe they were doing some kind of testing on me, scientific testing, and that it was the beginning of the scientists or doctors, whatever you want to call them, testing me. As sometimes I have dreams and thoughts and that are not normal, that sometimes they'll be too clear, after 40 years of living, 39 years living, your body, and you know how it reacts, and what it entails, what you feel and what you're used to. And when something's a little bit off, I question it. I question everything. And so I started noticing that, where they messed up is, my driving. When I'm driving, that's like my meditation. I could space out and just feel free, on the free road after being locked up for so long. That's a peaceful place for me. And for me to have, out of nowhere, have these random thoughts of driving off the road, not even feeling suicidal or being depressed at the time or anything of the nature, I believe that they have something to do with those surgeries and that testing that was done in the hospital. And especially since after coming out of there, I would get mean migraines, serious migraines that I wouldn't get before. And so, like I said, that, yeah, I used drugs at some point, but there was a long time that I was perfectly clean too. So I'm well aware of, how my body reacts and what it reacts to. If I drink water, I know exactly how long does it take me to use the restroom. You're sitting in a cell by yourself with nothing for days and months and years on end, and you get to know yourself a little bit better than other people do. And so I started noticing things were a little bit off. Sometimes my dreams would be too clear. And thoughts that were out of context of how I was feeling, and would randomly pop up in my mind. And yeah, I might have some mental health issues or something, but I experienced those for myself, and so I've gone through them myself, and I question everything. I question my own thoughts, and so I dissect everything that I feel go through. So when something foreign or that doesn't seem in place, I experience something foreign or that doesn't seem in place, I remember and I question it. And if I don't have the answer, I put it away for later until I realize what's going on. And so now I'm starting to believe that more so that either they tuned in on my energy frequency, or that they put something in my body or something to pretty much, you know, I don't know what do you want to call it, some kind of make us into iPhones, or an army of fucking people that are controlled, or I don't know what words to put it, because I thought about it right now. I was like, man, I'm gonna get on here and say this before I lose that train of thought or something. And as I start thinking more and more, I noticed that they were trying to put the pressure not only on me, but the only place I would frequent was a bar, the Shark Bar in Moreno Valley. And it takes me a while to warm up to people, because I have to take their temperature, emotional wise, and just how they are, because of the environment that I lived in. That's how I was able to survive, filling people out, before I interacted with them, just pretty much to be safe and to keep my safety. And so I noticed people started getting DUIs, getting pulled over for DUIs, and they would start distancing themselves from me. And some wouldn't. Some would, other people that maybe I wasn't so caring about or cared about, they'll approach me and threaten me, or try to threaten me underhandedly. But, I'm not one to easily scare, so some of those tactics would fly over my head without me noticing, because, like I faced, a lot of adversity in my life, and I might have stared down death a couple of times, and not because I'm no bitty badass or anything. It's just the life that I end up living. And so I noticed that people started getting DUIs at the bar, and then people start mentioning, questioning certain things, um, and bringing up certain subjects, and distancing themselves from me. And some people even felt upset with me. And I believe that I believe it was the FBI, but I'm not sure. And well, I think it was FBI, and I'll tell you why after this. And people that I was once really close to, like I don't get close to people, but certain people I'll get close to, um, from one day to the next, they were distant with me. And these were happy-go-lucky people, people that I conversated really well with, and vibe with, like on a not only a conversation, but like an emotional level. And from one day to the next, they distanced themselves from me. And yeah, first I want to apologize to them, because obviously because of me, they were feeling the effects of the law, or whatever it may be. And not too long after that, I used to frequent dating sites, and I guess that's where they used to get me at, because like I said, they felt that was my weakness, and it kind of is, but most of the time I would block it out. So I met this older woman, 40 plus years old, tatted down. She spoke very well and clear, and we met up at a Chili's, and she was conversating with me, asking me stuff. And sure enough, like they all do, they get around to this subject about how do I feel about cops, and I don't know why they asked me this, because I could speak perfectly clear without cussing, and hold a excellent conversation, and with anybody. I could go tit for tat on any subject, and I could refrain from using cuss words, and so a lot of times people would not be aware that I was a convict. So for these people to start questioning me in that area, in that realm of the law and breaking the law, and how I felt about police officers, and and such, it makes you question what's going on. So the lady started asking me how I felt about police and such, and she said that she had relatives that were in the field, and to add to that, she went on to say that she worked for the newspaper at night and that she frequented my street and she knew where I lived without, I didn't even tell her where I lived. I just told her what area I live. And she says, "Oh, I know where you live. Yeah, I've seen it. And, I pass by there all the time." And she let that all hang, and I thought about it. And, you know, like I said, I haven't done nothing wrong. In my belief, I don't believe I haven't done anything wrong. If I would have done something wrong, I would be behind jail in prison right now. So what they're trying to do, they're trying to build a case, or they're trying to make me agree to something, force me to agree to something that I don't want to agree to. And it goes back to the offering that was made to me when I was in that mental health hospital. I refused to take what they were giving me. And now they've been sending people either to pressure me or to force me into something. And they'll use underhanded tactics, as I just explained to you. And they'll send girls at me, 2 girls at a time, take me out, wine, someone will wine and dine me and take me to hotels. And but I believe, like, those women, after spending time with me, that they were afraid to close the deal or whatever they were sent there to do. I'm not sure how that works, or there's some underhanded kind of dealing going on that I'm not aware of. I've been in prison for 18 years. I don't know what the goal is nowadays. How things work. I'm just a straight across guy. So I don't really know exactly what they were trying to do, other than maybe pressure me and scare me into being quiet. If it wasn't a deal, I believe it was to scare me into being quiet. But why am I going to be scared to be quiet if I'm not the one who did anything wrong? So they're trying to reverse it. Excuse me. And pretty much they're admitting they did something wrong by having sent these people to approach me and try to scare me, quote unquote, which, they're not scaring me, and they're basically admitting that they did something wrong, but trying to flip it and make it seem like I'm the one who did something wrong, and that I should be worried, and that I should be watching my back, because the law's after me, or they're behind me, or they're watching me. All of the above, actually. And so I don't know what they thought they were gonna get out of this, but it's a real thing, and people might be afraid to speak on it, and might be afraid to speak to me about it. One, because of what they made me out to be. They probably made me out, like I said, on my previous video, they've they smeared my name with every crime out there, from from the worst to the best, I guess. I don't know how to explain that one, but and the flip side to that is, they have these people, the ones that are around me, they're pulling them over, threatening them, and maybe giving them tickets or putting them in for DUI. So they're holding the keys to their life in their hands, and I'm stuck in the middle. I'm being made out to be the criminal here, when the only crime I committed was to stand my ground. And so, yeah, I'm aware that slowly but surely I'm catching on to what they're doing, and I believe that they were doing tests, some kind of a scientific test on me. And I believe it has to do with the subject of energy, and what one's body's energy. And I believe that they're trying to control that. And they seen through the videos on the yard that I was well aware and of my surroundings, and could feel what was going on around me without anybody telling me. And either they're trying to make money off of that, or steal that from me, and use that against everyday people, most likely all the above. And so, the reason I make these videos is not to entertain anybody, but to inform you guys that this is a real thing. And there's people out there that know it's a real thing, because, people approach me left and right, especially women, a lot of women. But at the same time, I don't really blame these women, because obviously, if whether they made a mistake on their own, or or the officers of police or whoever they are have taken advantage of the people that are around me, and so they put them in an awkward situation, so I can't judge these people. And like I said, I apologize for putting them in that position, but all I've done is stand my ground. And so, yeah, that's the story for today, and the struggle continues.